Hi, I'm Tony Furtado, and you're watching 101.9 KINK Radio in the Skype live studio.
Welcome back into the room.
Yeah, good to be here.
You are a player's player, my friend.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, I just want to start with this. You say Furtado.
Oh.
I say
Furtado.
Furtado. That's the name of his new. I mean, I love that. Is that actual You Say Furtado Records? Is that you?
You say Furtado. I am the mogul of that label, yes.
That's a great. I saw that and I just started because I thought it was Furtasmo or I thought it was some other kind of name you had. But I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
No, I know what the one you're thinking of, but we don't have to talk about them.
Okay, we won't do that. No. We won't do that. Did you ever think you were going to get interviewed by a pirate today?
I like it. I like the look.
I appreciate it. I had no idea it was going to be. All of a sudden, I wore it to work and I went, oh, that's right. I'm going to be standing in front of. Anyway, I guess I could.
Give me an ARG.
Yeah, arg.
There we go.
That's a good one. You know what? I love when you bring out the guitar. Of course, the banjo's always good, but that one, brother, when you play slide, it speaks to me. But that had chorus, that had slide, that had pickin. Is that something you try to incorporate in all your guitar tunes, or
not all of them? Sometimes it works out. That was actually a combination of two songs. The first one called "Give Me Your Soul" I wrote for the Bell, the newest album I have out, and then the other tune inside there was a tune I call "Firecracker," which was part of. It was on the soundtrack of an indie flick called "Wrestling with Iowa." So I like to incorporate a little guitar picking and a little bit of singer-songwriter-y stuff.
Well, it had it all. Now, we all grew up with a lot of slides, and I know David Lindley and Taj and a bunch of those guys are your heroes. Oh, yeah. Who's the one slide player, let me hear his name, that you wish you could have played with?
Oh, Ry Cooter.
Yeah, Ry and Dwayne, and there's some. But then once again, I mean, growing up, I was around music too. There weren't many heroes except for Steve Martin doing Foggy Mountain Breakdown.
On the banjo.
Yeah. And I know it had a sixth grade story with you, but who were you looking up to on?
Well, when I was a kid, I was listening to Earl Scruggs, and Bela Fleck came around. He's about 10 years older than me, so when I was a teenager, he was kind of doing his thing. And other than that, I was listening to other kinds of music. I wasn't just listening to bluegrass. I was listening to Charlie Parker, trying to work out, saxophone parts and Irish melodies whenever I could, and classical music, anything I could wrap my brain around.
You said Charlie Parker and Irish melodies in the same sentence.
I know. And there, when I was really in the thick of it, too, I found a lot of patterns that kind of held true between the two styles, strangely enough. It worked.
Excellent. All right, well, one of the other reasons we've got him here is because he loves to put on a Thanksgiving Day show that's happening at Mississippi Studios. You want to tell everybody about that?
Yeah, I do that every year. This is the 6th year. It started originally as a live DVD recording show, and that went well. And so I just decided to keep it alive. I had done the same thing out in Boulder, Colorado, where I'd lived for a few years, and had that going for about 10 years running, and so I wanted to bring that fun to here. So it's been fun every year. And this year I've got Scott Law opening up the show and doing an acoustic set, as well as sitting in with my band, full band, which is Luke Price on the fiddle and guitar, and Russ Kleiner on drums. And this year the bass player is going to be Todd Sikafus. And Todd normally plays with Ani DeFranco, and he's produced folks like Aeneas Mitchell and other folks. Great player, so that'll be fun.
All right, and you talked about a DVD and concert sounds. I heard that you were kind of making one of those right now. Are you in production with that?
I am. It's a live album.
Can we talk about this?
Yes, we can.
Let's do that.
Yeah. It's going to be called Cider House Sessions, and it's it was recorded live at Reverend Nat's Hard Cider, because they've got a nice space for it, and I think I was the first one to think of doing this over there. So I had some folks come in to record it, as well as I had a buddy coming through town named Matt Flinner, who's a wonderful mandolin player, and had Rob Berger play accordion. Rob used to play with a band called Tin Hat Trio, and lots of folks like Bill Frisell, and just to name one of thousands.
And a crazy one you just named there, too.
Yeah.
He's all over. I interviewed him once on like Richter 567, which was the most outrageous sounds he put to colors. He would see colors, and Bill would just go off. So he's eclectic in a way that I can't even. I'm like down here.
Actually, I heard something about that where he hears colors or something.
Right. Yeah, and he made sounds to the colors that were like a Richter artist or something. It was just crazy, but good stuff. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay.
Take us all the way off.
So Rob is on that. Rob also plays with Iron and Wine and produces and does the whole thing, and also Luke Price is on that. And so we captured a lot of songs from that night as well as a few other nights I did. And I think it's sounding really good. I'm in the process of having it mixed right now by a wonderful engineer and producer named Rob Stroop. So.
Oh, yeah, very cool. Now, when you get something like that together, do you walk into the room and say, I like the vibe, this would work for something like that? Or do you, the acoustics? Is it everything? A little bit of both, maybe?
You know, I just kind of went with my gut feeling because I hadn't even seen the room. The first night I decided to do it there, I just went in cold and I was taken by it because it's, you know, it's a tasting room as well as it's where they brew the cider. And so the tanks are in there, you know, we just put a nice rug in there and created a vibe. It was fun.
Well, I look forward to the next DVD. Oh, and congratulations, too. Happy birthday, right?
A couple months ago.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, I thought it was last month.
Last month.
It was last month. And he doesn't look a day over 30. Are you? I love that. Please. What question?
Yeah.
My son plays guitar and banjo, and for Christmas I would love it. And is that a bottle?
Yeah, it's a bottle. Yeah.
Do you buy those like that?
I make them. Yeah. Well, not here today, but he mentioned that I think you mentioned, no, maybe you didn't, but I went on tour with Gregg Allman about 10 years ago, opening for him, and it was that was the first time I decided I would actually sell them at the shows. And I thought, you know, I'd bring 10 of them, and, you know, after a few weeks, maybe I'd sell them. Well, I sold 10 a night, so I was having to, like, go around to the local bars and get wine bottles. I'd come clanking into my room, and they'd say, oh, here comes Tony, and I'd make them real quick.
Well, yeah, it was a great question because that was another thing. I went onto your page and I found out this is one of the most celebrated artists, musical artists, on Etsy. This guy's got stuff on Etsy. You're also into medium of sculpting, aren't you?
Sculpt. I do ceramic sculpture, and lately I've been making tiles. So that's been fun.
Good for you. Yeah. A man of all trades and jacks of...
You know what? There's a big art show going to happen December 15 where I have my studio. So people should watch out for that and come on down. It's a big, fun time at the Falcon Arts Center.
All right. Very good. All right, my man. Once again, this weekend, the big holiday show happening in Mississippi Studios. Once again, Tony Furtado.
Thank you.